Hey everybody, I'm back and it is time for one of two weekly Geek Out things. It is X-Men week. Today is officially the beginning of X-Men week here because you're gonna get a bunch of X-Men movie rewatches and first watches for Mary. You're gonna get the comparison of, Road Cut and all that stuff, and of course the review on Friday. But, we'll hear more about that in tomorrow's vlog. So let's get to the fun part. We're doing another one of these Geek Out videos where the whole point is I ask a question, I give you my answer and talk a little bit about it, and then hope that you guys come along and answer it for me in the comments with your answers so we can all discuss and debate and, maybe you've got better ideas than I do. Maybe you'll turn me on to something I don't know about. So today's question is, who is your favorite X-Men character? Now, it doesn't have to be from the movies. It can be from the comics. It can be from the cartoons. Anything like that you want. I am mostly versed in X-Men from the movies and vaguely from like the 90s cartoon and a few of the comics. I don't know that many. So, I'm probably gonna have a more broad, common answer than maybe a super fan would have, but that's okay because we're all welcome of all levels of knowledge, There are things like if it's Star Wars, I know I have a deep knowledge base, whereas I'm kind of new to the comic scene as all these comic movies have finally become as great as they've become. I've taken a much, much bigger interest in it. So, without further ado, I usually like to give a few answers, and I've given a little thought to this, and really the best answer for me that I can come up with, and it may not be terribly popular, but maybe it is, I don't know. But I have to think my favorite X-Men has gotta be Magneto. And I don't know, again, I'm using X-Men as a blanket term. It can be villains. I know technically he's arguably an X-Men. He's not really, from Charles Xavier's School for the Gifted or anything like that. But I still think he counts. He's a mutant. I guess maybe, I would ask what's your favorite mutant, but that becomes way too broad. So, and keeping in theme, Magneto. The reason I really like this, and again, I'm really going on the film portrayals. I've seen very little of his comic portrayals, and I kind of remember him from the cartoons, but, I started rewatching those, by the way. They're still pretty awesome. But, the way Ian McKellen has played him, and now Michael Fassbender, and the way they've been writing him, I just love it. I love the backstory that, he was in the Nazi concentration camps, that, all the stuff with his mother and father, particularly with his mother in First Class. Also, I really like his power, and I like how you defeat his power. I love this, that he can control all metal, and there's so much you could do with that. When you first hear that, you think, that's kind of a cool power, but there's so much more to it, and so much more you can do with it than I think you would initially think, and that we've started to see. And I really think that's a lot of fun, that he can even fly and levitate, and that they have to have plastic guns and all this stuff to be able to even combat him at all. I think that's great. But what I also really like is his philosophy. Now, I am definitely more of the Charles side personally when it comes to, you've got to have faith. You've got to, there's going to be the shit bricks out there, the assholes, and, you can't really do anything. You can't punish all the good people because of the assholes. But in the movies, I kind of see where Magneto is coming from, and why am I blanking on his actual name? Eric. I see where he's coming. How the fuck did I forget Eric, right? But I see where he's coming from, and that he is just kind of sick of everybody's shit. But I like that he's, he doesn't become a zealot. He's not like, oh, it's my way or the highway. He can be talked to. He can be reasoned with. So I do really appreciate that with him as a villain. And that, he's not just out for blood right off the bat. It's kind of earned. So, I think probably I would have to go with him as my favorite. Maybe a second favorite, and again, I'm going basically on just the movies, and he's only really been in the one movie, was a Nightcrawler. And I kind of really liked his portrayal, but I like that teleportation thing. So I guess Azazel from First Class kind of could be in that same class. I don't know if Azazel is supposed to be Nightcrawler's father. I've joked about it. If you guys know, educate me. I'm cool with that. Let me know in the comments and tell me what comics I should read about it to know. But I like that power a lot. Storm never really did much for me. Wolverine's awesome, but he's just, it's just too easy to go for Wolverine, Bub, and all that. If Deadpool counted as an X-Men, he might be my favorite. I guess he kind of does, but I don't really count him. Colossus is cool. Jean Grey has been interesting. Kitty Pryde, I really kind of like what they've done with her in some of the movies, even though she's a little underutilized, and Rogue. Maybe even Sabretooth. I know I keep leaning towards the villains in a lot of this, but I think they're a little bit more interesting than the actual X-Men. Granted, with all of that said, I don't know, Mystique's kind of low on the spectrum for me. I might really like her in the comics, but I'm kind of overplayed with her in the movies, so I'm not that into her anymore. Sorry, Jennifer Lawrence and Rebecca Romijn, I'm just not that into you. That's true, I've got Mary, so fuck you. No, not fuck you. live your lives. But yeah, so yeah, I gotta go Magneto, then probably Nightcrawler, and then I don't know that I picked a third. I probably didn't actually pick a third. Let's go Kitty Pryde, right? I like that. I like she can phase through materials and everything, and that could be a really handy power to have, I think. So those are probably my top 3 picks. As someone who's not terribly educated on the subject matter, I'm working on that. You know, I've got that Marvel Unlimited comic series, you know, so when I find time, which is a rarity these days, I'm trying to read up on a lot of this stuff. But for the most part, I'm a movie guy, so I have to go from my movie knowledge and movie experience, and that's where I would go. And I mean, Ian McKellen is just freaking amazing, so, you know, hard to beat that up. And I mean, Patrick Stewart is phenomenal too, and a great Xavier, as well as the man who's playing him younger, whose name I'm blanking on. But anyways, guys, that's kind of my opinions. Now I want to hear, what are your opinions? Who's your favorite X-Men? Why? You can even tell me your least favorite. You can tell me a few. And if you want to educate me and say, oh, you like that guy? Here's the best comics to read. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. I want to know what you think. That's a big part of what this whole channel is about. Is it's just supposed to be a fun place for us all to just kind of geek out together. Geek out, I said the title. And, you know, just have a good time talking about things with each other and maybe making new friends. And, you know, I mean, you can argue with people. Just be polite about it. Be cool about it. You know, because it is fun to debate these things. So just, you know, avoid the name calling and getting angry, because no one's here trying to piss anybody off. And if you are here trying to piss people off, I get rid of you as soon as I can. Even though I hate to censor, but, you know, that's the reality of the internet. On occasion, you have to do that. Although, surprisingly, I've had to do very, very little of that on my channel, and I don't know, I just think that's really cool. But yeah, so comment, talk to me about it, talk to each other about it, and you know, give me the thumbs up of encouragement if you like these things, because I certainly love doing them. Subscribe if you're new and you want to see all the cool stuff we're doing here and you want to be a big part of this party. Share with your friends so they can come party with us too, because if you're cool, I'm sure they're cool, and I'd love to see you all. So guys, I'm going to jump on out of here. I hope you enjoy this theme of X-Men week on my channel. I'm going to try and theme every week from here on out as best I can. And you know, just let me know what you think, and I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you guys later.